Hello, fellow listeners. Today I am at the new Museum Los Gatos here in, well, Los Gatos with Holly Lane, resident esteemed artist and sculptor. Hi!
Hi. Hi.
It's an honor to be able to interview you today.
I'm really excited about the process here and looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, so you have a very unique style of art, which is you incorporate both oil paintings and the frame as part of a paired masterpiece. So how do you get everything into place?
I start out over here with sketchbook drawings, and I have simultaneously going on ideas for the frame and for the image at the same time.
Wow.
And then when I decide a blending or a pairing, then these full-scale drawings here on you see that's graph paper on, so I can take measurements off the actual drawing for the wood, to get the wood. And I like to use basswood, which is a hardwood. It's a non-endangered species. I try not.
Wow, that's great.
There's some beautiful tropical woods, but I don't want to create a market for deforestation. And it's a wonderful wood, as you can see here. It's like this creamy, even grain. It's like a pleasure to carve. It's almost creamy. And then there's some clamping, clamping parts. That's laminating the different pieces together with adhesive under pressure. So that's each clamp's about 600 pounds of pressure.
Whoa, that's strong.
If you get a big log and carve it down, those tensions are still there. So when you can read the grain of the wood and then on the planks and then connect them together so the internal pressures of the wood are pushing against each other and it won't split. So it's like really nerdy stuff.
Math and art, that's great.
That takes a while. These are some of my tools that I use for carving here.
Wow.
Hand tools. That light one, that little vine, that's cottonwood.
Wow, that's so pretty. It's like a little fern, kind of.
Yeah.
That one reminds me of a sponge, like as you said there, and then it soaks up stuff.
That's the mylar and the graphite for the black and white ones. The mylar's, it's a film, and it has a coating on one side that has tooth on it, so, and the other side is slick.
That's cool, so like chisels and like knives?
There's one of the clamps there, one of the smaller ones.
Wow.
So I have those clamps, they're up to like 4 feet long.
That's amazing.
Really big work. I started using, this works really good, but it's being a painter, I'm coming at it with a big array of colors, which the oil stains don't come in, so I do layers and samples. I usually use about 6 layers of stain of different color stains to get the one I want, and that's like a sample.
That's
a sample thing there. This is the color studies for the frame, so that's a full-size color study for the frame. That piece is in the other room. With the wood stain, it's very unforgiving. Once it touches that wood, it penetrates the wood. So if you change your mind, you can't change your mind. So that's why I do the samples ahead of time, so I know what I'm doing, what the color plan I want to do. So I do the front part and the side. After it's stained, then I start working on the line drawing for the deer. Then that's called value drawing. It's just black and white shading, and then a color study. And those were the different colors I was thinking about for the frame, like a gray. When I went with this one, because the colors are like rhyme, or they harmonize, or they echo the colors of the deer. That's the completed piece. It's called Overlook because the deer is standing at an overlook in its natural world, looking down on the human world, so it's right at the border line of an overlook, and then it's overlooking its shoulders at us. And all the animals in my work are from one-on-one experiences of seeing them in the wild.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah, so he's a pretty boy.
What did you want to convey with this?
Well, the bubble is a long time in art history, a symbol of the fragileness and the briefness of life. And so there's like I did this during a pandemic. There's like the hourglass with wings that flies.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people, you know, they died, they perished.
Yeah. Yep. And I looked at time-stop photographs of bubbles bursting. So that's the bursting bubble membrane.
Wow, that's so neat.
And that's like the energy and the arc of time.
Oh my God, you really thought of everything for this.
And these little half circles are like the sculptural echo or form of the bubbles.
Yeah, like resonation. That's really great. Not enough time to love the world. So it's like a life and death like balance that you're trying to convey here.
Yeah, you know, because of all the people passing away, I just felt like they didn't have enough time in this world to love it, to create, to do whatever they wanted to do. So the curator thought it would be good to offer, because I'm also thinking about the environment, you know, that we need to love the world.
We need to save it.
Yeah, so mourning involved, an elegy, but at least some scientists say we can fix it if we want to.
We can.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. It's like water bubbles just hit that canvas and you just took a picture of it and then hung it there. So do you usually get that idea for the oil painting first and then base the frame off of its like meaning?
Yeah, I had the bubbles in my sketchbook for some time, so then I thought I really have to do the bubbles. So the frame came after the bubbles, but sometimes they're simultaneous. Sometimes the frame comes first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's like, do it forwards, do it backwards to test your brain.
Yeah.
Is this the gilding?
Yeah, that's the gilding one, yeah.
Wow, it's like a building. If only we had this in real life, like a tower just like this.
7 of these. I think I have 5 or 7 of these tall ones, but there's some that were too tall that wouldn't fit in here.
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
Yeah. Eudaimonia is Aristotle's, thought Aristotle was the highest good, which is, he translated into flourishing, human flourishing. So my thought was that you can't really have human flourishing without nature flourishing.
Yeah, nature is the base.
Yeah, really. Well, the Egyptians thought 4 pillars held up the sky. So those were the 4 pillars, and I have it all open so the sky is like embraced by these pillars to show that the air we breathe needs to be protected, and otherwise we're not going to flourish too.
Yeah.
So at the very top were nine birds to stand for the Greek 9 muses that inspire humanity, and some of them have food in their mouth. Anthony, birds brought him food. St. Anthony.
Whoa,
Yeah,
it's a mixing of cultures that you represented
so
here.
I try to incorporate some of the symbols of art history. Like there's 4 sides to this to cover 4 directions of the earth. Yeah. So
Whoa, it's like mixing reality with religion.
it's all here for us to relish and enjoy and learn from. To me, like I don't cut off history at a certain point and that nothing matters before that. It's all here. They all did it for us, for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Yeah, it's a wonderful part of being an artist is you can be a part of that long chain of gifting. Yeah.
You bring joy to other people.
Yeah.
You bring introspection to other people too. No, this is so reflective. This is great. It's like human nature.
Yeah.
I see that like kind of like an overarching theme in all of your pieces, aside from, you know, nature, is that you bring out like the light and darkness. There's a lot of contrast, like with the antlers, the sun, especially with that piece. That piece is like great. There's a halo of the sun. And then with the birds in sunset or like sunrise too.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So what inspires you? Do you actually like get up in the morning and like bend down to like draw?
Yeah, I retain a lot of it in my memory. I do some drawing and then I also take some photographs. So like the birds here is that sandhill crane.
Sandhill crane.
It's in the Central Valley. There's refuge. that they come down from the Arctic and the north and spend the winter. They're there now. They're right there. They start arriving about late August, early September, and they stay all winter. So yeah, that's actually see them there. The poet Michael Newman calls them our tallest sister. They're like
Sister.
4 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah. They have 2.5 million year old fossils of them, and they look just like that now.
Whoa.
Just like they did then. So they're really ancient, ancient species. Yeah.
That's magical. And like, I love the frame for this too. It's like the curtains are being drawn to like for the scene, and it's kind of like an enhancement of their habitat, like the cattails, and they're just like there.
Yep. This one actually has curtains in it here. This one, it has doors that have curtains
Whoa.
here. So I do
That's so cool.
the doors like indicate like what's behind is past or present or future or cause and effect, different things. So this here is like a bed that blends into the landscape. So it's like the earth is our place of rest. And there's a little star under the pillow. And that's because like the starlight that we see coming through actually goes into our eyes and changes into electrical signals into our brain. So we're actually like taking starlight into our body. So that was my way of showing that there. Yeah.
That's beautiful. We are in a sense stardust.
Yeah, it's
magical.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine us glowing gold.
Maybe we do, and we just don't see it. Yeah.
And I love how the frame kind of adds depth to the oil painting. Like this overarching, it's kind of like a canopy. It gives shadows to the sky.
Yeah, it's a canopy. Yep. And these
Beautiful.
In San Juan Bautista, in their mission, there's a statue of the Madonna, and those were the wrinkles in her clothing that I thought were so beautiful. So I drew it.
Great. It can also be like the folds of a bed, which kind of adds to your painting.
Yeah.
It's magical. A lot of your scenes depict like the sky, like it could either be sunrise or sunset, life or death, and it's just so cool.
It's a crepuscular hour, like John Steinbeck called the hour between dawn and where they just starting to see light. He calls that the pearl, the hour of the pearl.
The hour of the pearl.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, so the hour of the pearl, I really like that.
One of my favorites, perhaps, which got me inspired for the icebreaker question, cotton candy clouds. The motion, the upward motion is so cool. It's like delicate floating figures.
That fit in with my idea of rising, like this, like a stylized bird tail rising, and this is formalized like wing shapes, the rising. And that on the top, that's my fun, because I think that's ice cream. That's why I was curious about, that's why I laughed about your thing. That's ice cream.
Dollops of cream.
Yeah, so I think of desserts as something that's given above and beyond what's needed for survival. So it's like a symbol of divine benevolence, ice cream.
I never thought of ice cream that way. Divine, pray to that ice cream. Wow, it's like the frame. It's kind of like abstract shapes and figures all like lapsed onto each other. It's so cool. So, do you think there's like hierarchy or harmony between the frames and your oil paintings?
Harmony. That's what I'm trying for. Is harmony. Yeah,
definitely.
I would never make a very good art judge because I'm always thinking the artist is trying to say something that I don't quite get yet. You know what I mean?
This kind of like antitheses between your themes of each painting. Like this one is the leafy earth rests, but this one is we shall rise. Like resting, like we have the image of going down peacefully, but then rising we have that image of going up gracefully. So is it kind of like to counter each other?
Yeah. Well, with this one I was thinking of winter. Since we don't get much winters here in California unless you're in the
and
Sierra.
there's snow.
Yeah, unless you're in the Sierra. But with global warming, that winter is a time for the heat to go away and the earth to rest. So the snow is like the leafy earth rests during the winter. And the green here is for the leafy stuff. These are apothecary jars with plant. That's the carob again. And yeah, that's the red spur valerian. That's called, the red spur valerian is also called the keys to heaven.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, and you can eat it in salads and that. And the carob is especially wonderful. I'm using it because it takes a long time to mature and then it stays on the plant for season after season. So it's a reliable source of food for people and for animals in more arid countries. So that's arid land. So that's why I use the carob, because it's like a symbol of the givingness of the earth.
Yeah, it's kind of like double meaning too. Like apothecaries, you know?
Yeah.
They kind of, it can in a sense be like to heal sunburns or to like treat human health, but it can also be to heal the earth.
Oh, yes, very beautiful. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I guess maybe the 1700s, like all medicine was plant medicine.
Yeah, the earth gives us.
Yes, yeah. So and they're still working with plants for medicinal, to find out the chemistry of it and use it for, like the yew tree, they're using that for cancer.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
For
Wow.
cancer, the yew tree.
Such a common tree to battle such a
Yeah,
severe disease.
Can't take these plants for granted.
Yeah, they're special, they're magical, they're a gift from the earth.
Really. He's a beauty. Yeah. He went out deer hunting and a deer approached him and it had a crucifix in his antlers because back at that time they thought animals were messengers, could be messengers. So I was thinking about, this is like he's a messenger, he's bringing light.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the sunlight. My God, it's divine.
It's like a fun thing. He's very beautiful and mystical and all that, but he's also very practical because he loves acorns. You hand him an acorn, he eats the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
The husk and it has if you ever break open an acorn, it's like a thin little husk and a really big meat in the inside, so they're very nutritious. Yeah, he liked me because I gave him acorns.
Nice, that's a good way to get on a deer's good side.
Yeah, really.
Give him acorns.
Yeah, and give him natural foods instead of French fries or something like
French
that.
fries?
Yeah, animals evidently really like French fries. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's the fat and the salt.
Oh, salt.
Yeah.
How do you get your inspiration? Like, you get your inspiration from nature, right? And then you base off your frames of like kind of like the abstract meaning, or even simultaneously. You get the ideas. But how did you get this idea of straying from the stereotypes? Like, usually we won't think of the frame being a part of the piece. Did you know, like from a young age, that this was the type of art that you would want to pursue?
No, when I was young, I liked to draw and all that, and I would crawl under my bed and draw when everybody was out playing.
Oh, devotion, that's nice.
Yes. And my parents were not, but my mom took us when we were about 9 to an art museum, and that I was really impressed with that, but all the art I saw there were made by men, and all the documentaries I saw about artists on TV were by male artists. So when I started college, I started out as a philosophy major, studio classes as an elective, but it was just too compelling to be able to work with ideas with my hands instead of verbally. So I made the big jump and switched to studio art, and I've never looked back. But while I was an undergraduate, I was thinking about frames. At that time, if there was a frame at all on a painting, it was just a thin little line to protect the painting, and a demarcation, philosophically a demarcation saying all that was inside the frame is art, and the frame itself and what was outside is not art. So that's what the frame meant philosophically to me.
It's a boundary.
Yeah, it's a boundary. So then at the time I was also reading the philosopher Jacques Derrida analysis of conceptual frameworks. So they're kind of sneaky, you know, because they subconsciously precondition our viewing of what's at the center. So like an example would, like in the 1950s, the National Park Service framing for the national parks was America's playground.
Oh.
Instead of all the land that had been Native American sacred ground is now a playground, you know. So,
yeah,
so that what that kind of framing does is it makes people think they can party and drop their trash and all that stuff. So it's preconditions, that's the idea of how it preconditions what we think. So I was thinking about how frame preconditions what we're seeing in the center. And then I went to the university library, and in the library I saw these illuminated manuscripts that had text, and then these borders that were all scrolling, and some of them had these little naughty animals that were spoofing the text and even mooning it, you know, and that was my moment of epiphany. You know, that was my moment of enlightenment. I thought a frame could be anything. A frame could be an informing context, it could comment on the center, it could be elaboration formally and formally and pictorially and conceptually. You know, it could be like a shelter, it could be like a body that houses the mind, and innumerable rich permutations. So that's when I started fusing the frame and the painting. So it took about 3 different things to push me in that direction, and I'm having fun.
Definitely, I can tell. You're like very, very devoted to this art.
I also, as you can see there, I reference architecture a lot. That's because I think of architecture as a human construct, and it encodes our intentions and our predilections and our desires, architecture does. When I put nature inside an architectural frame that looks like sacred architecture, I'm trying to say that this is sacred here, the land, you know, the animals, everything that's inside is sacred.
That's great, wow. Would you rather drift away on cotton candy clouds or tour the earth on melted chocolate rivers?
Yeah.
Your choice.
I love chocolate.
Oh my God, same.
I'm gonna go with the chocolate because I think it would make me feel like I was a horse in a field, because horses walk in their food. Everything, the grass and everything is their food. Well, most of the plants are their food. So what would that like to be a horse to be able to walk through your food? It would be like us walking through a pizza.
Chocolate!
So it's too fun.
Yeah, just like trooping, and like you could swim too, and you would just breathe chocolate.
That was a fun question. I enjoyed that, kind of fit right into how I think about the world. It's that delightful, that joyful.
So, what would be your advice? You're an amazing, esteemed artist and sculptress right now. So, looking back on all of those years, if you could put all of your experience into one sentence, or a few sentences, what would it be?
Get all the education you can. Artists, which is different than other people do, because from infancy, we learn to sort out the things we see in the world, like some things are important and some things aren't. And then we ignore the things that usually isn't for our interest, at least we think not for our interest, or for survival, and we screen out so much of the world. But like artists, it can all be important. To be open and look deeply at what you see, and drawing really helps with that. Drawing, like carry around a sketchbook and draw, and draw, and draw, draw. Even when you're standing in line, in the post office, and you see the wrinkles, whatever attracts you, you know, the wrinkles in somebody's pants here, if that attracts you, draw that. You know, it all's going to add to your visual vocabulary, and it adds up over time. Fire hose stream of visuals that are coming to you, because it's all now you're not screening out anymore. You're just looking, and then you can look at, if something catches your eye, ask yourself, like, why? Like is it, okay, it could be anything from you know, big landscape vista, or it could be like a crumpled piece of trash on the side of the road, and you ask why, and it's usually probably something for an artist, it's something visual. Like it could be the texture, it could be the line, it could be the color, it could be the contrast between what it's sitting on and what it is. And so, you know, all these fundamentals of art you bring to use that in your work. What attracted you to that? And you have a whole list of things that have attracted you and that you find interesting, even though it may not make sense to you about what it is, but later it will. Yeah, as a student, you're just adding, and then you start sorting it out and crystallizing it.
Yeah. The world comes in pieces.
I can't think of anything more exciting than to be an artist. And I think it's such a lofty endeavor. And it's not like a job, it's like you live it. You live it every day. It's not like something you go to and then go back to your real life. It's everything in your real life. So everything you end up doing contributes to the artwork, like going for a walk or to a museum or talking to people or reading books or something. It all feeds in, and it's just very fulsome in integrity in your life, that where you don't have to separate things out.
Yeah, your perception of the world changes.
Yeah.
Art in itself is kind of like a tapestry where you weave your experiences and your thoughts into one masterpiece.
Yeah.
Or several masterpieces in your case.
This one was a fun one. I could talk about that one. These are all carved out of wood, the vegetables.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's corn. That's a tomato. It's like gold. Again, like King Midas touched it. Like, I command you to be gold.
The funnest vegetable to carve was the potato.
Oh, the potato.
The potato, and that's right there, that's the potato. That was the funnest to carve. And then I went to the grocery store to get my models and had them out, and I put them back in the refrigerator in the evening before I go to bed. But the mushroom got moldy. It was out there so long, it takes a while to carve these things. So I had to go back and get another mushroom.
Sacrifice, sacrifice for the greater good.
This is the extended vine, and the bed has long legs because, like in sleep, your mind doesn't really sleep. It extends itself, because you're ever working on a problem in your waking hours, and then you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and suddenly you have an answer to
It's an epiphany.
Yeah, really. So that's why the crown is on top of the bed, and it's extended vine, and this is the fruitful sleep. Yeah,
fruitful sleep. Oh my gosh, that's such a good metaphor.
William Wordsworth had a spell of insomnia, and he called sleep the mother of all good health and fresh thoughts.
Some people say that when you sleep, your mind enters a parallel universe. I, for one, think that it's very cool, but it's not very realistic, but who knows? I mean, maybe you dream that dreaming is entering a parallel universe. It's just a lot of ideas to play with.
Yeah, that's something for artists to think about. I have an artist friend that does these big kinetic sculptures, and they all come from his dreams.
That's
he
great.
Wakes up in the morning and records his dreams, and then he makes these huge room-sized kinetic sculptures.
Wow.
So it's a source for artists.
Like sometimes I just wake up, like I have an idea for this school project. There was a fire. Like, I gotta do this. I have this idea. So I'm gonna go to work.
Great.
Thank you so much, Holly Rain, for taking the time for me to interview you. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure for me. I really enjoyed it.
High five. All right, thank you.
You did that on the other ones too. I watched your other ones, two of your other ones.
It's kind of like my YouTube channel stereotype. Like, you have to high five people at the end just because.
Yeah.